Hello and welcome to the Literary Lair. Today we're going to be delving into my favorite science fiction series, Star Trek. I've been a fan of Star Trek since before the 2009 movie. I was mostly a fan of TNG, but I've become a fan of TOS since then. I like it because of the kicks and basic effects. Pretty much the same reason I love classic Doctor Who. So, what are we looking at today? Star Trek, That Which Divides. It's a Star Trek story with Romulans. So, let's jump in now and hope that it fits in the continuity, unlike Spock Must Die. The cover is pretty bland, sorry to say. It's a basic space background with a planet below. Also a couple of Romulan birds of prey shooting at the Enterprise. It says, That Which Divides, with the basic Star Trek logo on the top left. Other than that, it's pretty boring. I mean, look at Star Trek The Rings of Time. That was the other pocket Star Trek book I've reviewed. Look at it, it has stuff going on, a bunch of explosions. That's what this cover needs. Whatever. Let's get on to the story proper. The Federation have recently made contact with the Dulcians, a pre-warp civilization who have colonized Gralathi, another world in their system which is hidden behind an energy shield, which only opens for a short period every 3 years. Why? Because screw the Prime Directive. The patrol ship Huang Zong is carrying a survey of the phenomenon when its warp engine and sensors trigger off an ancient defense system and a tractor beam causes their ship to crash land on Gralathi, killing most of the crew. The most senior of the survivors is former Enterprise officer Lieutenant Boma. See, if you serve on the Enterprise, everyone you know will eventually die a gruesome death. The Enterprise, which was meant to be assisting the Huangzong in its mission, now has the task of recovering or destroying the wreckage, and finding out what happened. Like Bones in space. Yeah, I like Bones now. Deal with it. Traveling through the rift in shuttlecrafts, a team led by Spock accompanies Boma in discovering an underground structure, which leads to them to realize that Gralathi is another Kalandan outpost, which explains the title, a play on the TOS episode That Which Survives. The defenses sense the Huangzong as sufficiently advanced to pose a threat to their archive. Kirk and Federation Ambassador Dana Sortino join them as they try to find a way to make it safe. Or just don't go near those outposts. Jesus, you'd think the Enterprise would learn by now. Meanwhile, the Romulans, of course, suspicious of Federation's interest in the system, dispatch a ship to investigate. Ignoring the Enterprise's warnings, the ship travels through the rift and triggers off the defense systems. Damaged, it's forced to make an emergency landing on Gralathi. Because when you hear a ship crashed on that planet, you just have to go and try it yourself. Starfleet needs a Don't Try This at Home label on that planet. The Romulans attack the underground structure, triggering off further defense mechanisms, including a self-destruct. Wait, that planet had something on it just to blow it up? That really sounds like something out of a mad scientist evil Lair. Hello and welcome back to our series on how to be a mad scientist. I am, as you know, Professor Mike Sano. I am coming to you live from Sector Omega of Zeta Prison. This is part of my required community service. They said my choices were clean out the bathrooms or do a public access show. I pick this, and that way I can continue my How to Be a Mad Science series longer than the original 7 parts it was meant to be. So, let's begin, and this time we have to talk about something that's nearly plaguing all mad scientists. Self-destruct buttons. I question their entire existence. Why do they exist? I mean, why make one? It's not a logical idea. It gives your nemesis the ability to destroy your entire lair in one, count it, one fell swoop. That's one too many. Seriously, stop making them. I have a safer alternative. The Mike Sano brand emergency transporter. Tag all of your items, and when your base is discovered, activate it using this simple button, and send it all to your next base. And it saves money on moving vans. Anyway, back to the problem. Stop making them. It's not smart. I mean, you'd think if we were so good at science, we would know not to make self-destruct buttons. The only time that a self-destruct button works is when you have one connected to your computer, and you press a button and it deletes all the data on said computer. Why is that logical, you may ask? Because if your nemesis found your evil plans on the computer, that could be even worse than taking you in. Because then there's the legal ramifications. Not many mad scientists think about the legal ramifications. They just worry about getting punked in the face. We actually go to jail when we do bad stuff. I mean, look at me. Anyway. So, come back next time when we talk about the thing you've all been waiting for, how to deal with your nemesis. Good night, everyone. After a series of encounters, Kirk and the crew manage to overcome the Romulans and take them prisoner, while the salvage team, led by Kyle, manage to secure the ship. Uhura manages to disable the self-destruct. 3 more Romulan ships arrive, determined to exact vengeance for the attack on their ship, and seemingly ready to attack the 2 defenseless Dulcian freighters. The Enterprise, commanded by Scotty, rescues the crew and makes a warp jump through the rift. When the Romulans follow, Spock, Uhura, and Boma are able to use the defenses to disable their ships and also disperse the energy field. With the Romulans prepared enough to leave the system, the Federation elects to establish a permanent presence in the system to defend them against further incursions. With that, Boma joins a scientific team to investigate the Kalandan outpost. So that was Star Trek, that was Divide. It was a thoroughly enjoyable book, and I have to say, I really like it. I've never read a bad Star Trek book. Not like one could exist, right? Whatever. Stay tuned next time, because I think I need to call a detective agency. A holistic detective agency.